Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be taking some magazines from Murdoch's Holly up to Lexington, Virginia. Here in this flight we'll just be taking the Cessna 152 up there, and we'll be flying VFR, and we'll be passing over a few familiar cities. We'll be coming pretty close to the city of Roanoke. We'll be passing over Lynchburg, and then obviously we'll be landing in Lexington. Let's go ahead and have a look at the job details and the route that we'll be taking. As you can see, we're currently on the ground at Murdoch's Holly, and we've already got everything loaded. There's the payload matching, and then we're going to be just headed north, and then right about when we get to probably about Chase City, we'll go ahead and get onto this path, and we're going to be passing over to Lynchburg and headed up to Lexington. Let's go ahead and get it started up. So we'll go ahead and turn on the battery and the alternator as well. And that should have been off, but I may have forgotten last time I turned off the aircraft. And we'll go ahead and put the fuel to on. And we'll go ahead and get on some lights here. Beacon and strobes. And we'll go ahead and prime the engine. And we'll go ahead and start it. And make sure the pop area is clear, which it is. I totally did not forget to put in the mixture. Anyways, now that we're started up, we'll go ahead and make sure that we announce taxi.
2 Tree Victor Golf Traffic Cessna November Whiskey Tango Sierra is taxiing to runway 21.
Alright, we'll go ahead and put on taxi lights, and we'll go ahead and head on out. Here today I am using Boris's Cessna 152 sound mod, along with realistic tree height, realistic aircraft lights, and realistic runway lights, but we won't be really encountering any runway lights since both of these airports are on grass strips. Alright, we'll just stop short of the runway, that way we can go ahead and do our run up. So we're already, mix is all the way in, and we'll go ahead and bring it up to 1500. There we are. We'll go ahead and do right. Back to both. Then we'll do left. Back to both. And then we'll go ahead and put the carb heat. Interesting. Okay, never mind. I guess I wasn't listening well enough. Alright, since we're doing a short field takeoff, we'll go ahead and put down the flaps to 20 degrees. We'll go ahead and make sure nav lights are on, and let's go ahead and get out of here.
2 Tree Victor Golf Traffic Cessna November Whiskey Tango Sierra taking off runway 21 departing straight out.
And we'll go ahead and put this on standby. Alright, we'll hold the brakes and bring up the throttle. And release the brakes. Airspeed's coming down, so I'm going to try and pull the nose out. There we go. Speed's good. We'll go ahead and put up flaps to
Washington
10
Center,
degrees.
Cessna November, Whiskey Tango Sierra is type Cessna 152 1 miles south of 2 Tree Victor Golf 500 feet. Request flight following.
Cessna November, Whiskey Tango Sierra, Washington Center. Squawk 672 Tree.
Squawk 672 Tree Cessna Whiskey Tango Sierra.
Cessna Whiskey Tango Sierra radar contact 1 mile south of 2 Tree Victor Golf 800 feet. Altimeter 30.04.
Roger Cessna Whiskey Tango Sierra.
Cessna Whiskey Tango Sierra contact approach on 1 Tree 2.35. Good day.
1 Tree 2.5 Cessna Whiskey Tango Sierra. Goodbye.
And we'll go ahead and make our turn.
Washington Center, Cessna November, Whiskey Tango Sierra is type Cessna 152 1 miles south of 2 Tree Victor Golf 700 feet.
Cessna November, Whiskey Tango Sierra approach altimeter 30.0. Full radar contact. Continue.
That was a pretty scary departure there. Took off, barely cleared the trees, and the speed was dwindling fast. It seems like we've got some weather just south of the airport that will be missing, thankfully. Alright, we'll go ahead and lean out now that we're up here. Alright, now that we're safely in the air, we can chit-chat a little more. So, I had tried to record this previously, but I had to roll back progression and start over because for some odd reason I was having some audio issues actually in the game, and it was having trouble picking up my microphone. So I went ahead and re-recorded this. It made my microphone really quiet, the same issue that I've been experiencing. I'm trying to figure out the issue that is, well, not the issue, but figuring out what's causing that. I don't know if it's me speaking too quietly or the microphone just not picking me up. I don't know. But I'm trying to figure that out. And then the last time that I did record this, I couldn't record it all in one go. So I recorded the first half of the video. Jeez, trim. I recorded the first half of the video, but then I had to go help move a bed.
Tango Sierra contact Washington Center on 118.75. Good day.
118.75 Cessna Whiskey Tango Sierra. Goodbye.
Alright.
Washington
I
Center,
forgot it's
Cessna
doing the radio
Whiskey
automatically.
Tango Sierra, 3,600 feet.
Cessna November Whiskey Tango Sierra Washington Center altimeter 30.0 full radar contact. Continue.
Anyways, I had to go move a bed, so I couldn't finish recording this all in one go. And by the time I came back, I haven't activated Windows, so I got the activate Windows in the bottom right of the screen, which they say, oh, it doesn't hinder performance. Yes, it does. Every time I get that stupid thing in the corner, my games instantly get more laggy. It's ridiculous. So, and even with that, it shows up in the recording. So, let me switch that to alternate. It shows up in the recording, which doesn't look very good. So, that's why I had to re-record. And thankfully, by doing that, the weather looks a lot better than before. Before it was pretty stormy since there were a lot of systems, it seemed, coming up through the east. Alright, I'll go ahead and put the flaps all the way up and then trim up since the flaps were helping us nose up a bit there. Trying to get this thing stabilized between the speed and the altitude, that way we're pretty steady and we're not just all over the place. Okay, there we go, it's pretty steady. I'm going to keep turning towards the right, and of course there goes the vertical speed. Yes, that's why I had to re-record, because of the whole activate Windows thing. But don't worry, that doesn't affect Neofly at all. We still have all of our money and everything. And also, I messed up the exterior shots in the video because they had no audio, because I clicked the wrong button. Instead of having desktop audio and no microphone audio, I had no desktop audio and microphone audio. So that was why I had to re-record. But at least it gives me another chance to fly before things get real busy here. I'm hoping to pre-record one of my videos before things start to get busy with school and stuff again. And just some channel update things. So with the American Truck Simulator series, it seems that Peterbilt is still in the lead. Last time I checked, I'll go ahead and check again. If Peterbilt is still in the lead. If it still is, then that'll be the conclusion of round 1, since it's been going on for a few weeks now. Let's see here. Make sure my aircraft is still stable. Yep, it's starting to turn a little bit. Let's see. Yep, Peterbilt is still in the lead, which means that we'll be going with a Peterbilt truck in that series, which I do like the Peterbilts, so I'm happy that Peterbilt won. I'm not even going to try to say when we're going to level off, because I'll try and level this thing off, but with how much lift this thing generates, it just doesn't want to stop climbing. I'll try and bring back the throttles to see if that'll help stabilize it, but it honestly just looks like it's nosing up with the less throttle I have, which is kind of weird to think about. There we go, vertical speed is coming down a little too much. Sorry if the yoke seems like it's glitching around a whole lot. That's just because I have a 45-degree yoke in real life. And in-game it's still a 90-degree yoke. So that just caused a lot of glitching. We're just about established on the line here. Oh boy, we are nosing down. Come on, little plane. Kind of got off the path there, but there we go, kind of back on. Man, the vertical speed in this thing is just so finicky. And you see how small the increments are that I'm moving it in. So there's down one and then there's up one. You can just barely see it move, but that just, it affects the vertical speed that much. I'm so glad we're not flying south. I'm looking at the map here. I'll bring it over in just a minute. But there's a whole lot of weather just south of where we were and towards the east. Here we go. I'll just go ahead and bring it over. Oh my goodness. There we go. But yeah, look at all that weather. Where we are flying, it is just clear skies, which is good. Credit to Sky4Sim for the map there. That's what I've been using to navigate, along with Neofly, but I don't have their map open right now. Lots of farmland below. Lots of farmland. Here in just a minute, I will let y'all see the exterior view, with sound this time. Probably about the next minute, so when that yellow gets to the other side. Yeah, still pretty terrain with the in this area of Virginia. Hopefully here soon we'll be able to get away from the usual areas that we've been flying. Finally, the altitude is somewhat stable. But of course I have to go and turn, so hopefully it'll continue to be stable. There we go. Alright, I'll go ahead and let you guys see the outside view. And welcome back, y'all. Still just cruising along. Altitude is still pretty stable. Throttle is just about where we want it to keep it stable. Still just having to adjust. And of course, there goes the vertical speed. Hopefully it'll... Yep, it's coming back down. So, here in the upcoming weeks, let's see, after this, we've got American Truck Simulator, where I'll be doing most likely the last job, or the last quick job, that is, with our, without a truck, before we purchase our own truck. Then, I'll be doing ETS2, probably in that series. I'll go ahead and post a poll, most likely. And then Microsoft Flight Simulator, probably another Neofly video, which I still really enjoy making these Neofly videos. Hope y'all are enjoying them. And I am considering a new format for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I know some people don't really like sitting through the whole flight, so I thought about maybe just skipping through certain parts of the flight.
Cessna Whiskey Tango Sierra contact. Roanoke approach on 125.475. Good day.
125.475 Cessna Whiskey Tango Sierra. Goodbye. Roanoke approach Cessna November Whiskey Tango Sierra 7,000 feet.
Cessna November Whiskey Tango Sierra Roanoke approach altimeter 30.02 radar contact continue.
But yeah, thought about maybe skipping some stages. Like I'll do the climb up to cruise and then maybe skip to right before descent. That way it takes away a huge chunk of the actual flight time. That way you all don't have to sit through the whole thing. Or I could just add chapters. That way you can skip to where you want to. But either way, still just trying to improve the videos. still thinking about other games that I could possibly add. I'm just not really in a place right now where I can add new content since life's about to get busy again. I know some people might think it's boring doing aviation, but I don't know. It's not quite. Well, I don't know. It is kind of the same feeling in the game that I do get in real life. When I went up for the first time, that was really awesome. Um, I don't know. It's just like a feeling of just like you're just there, like you're just hanging um, in the sky, just looking down at everything else around you. It just feels like super peaceful up here. Kind of coming off course there a little bit. Turning back on course though. It'd be fun if you could see your flight path after the flight. See how many squiggles there are. That's one of my favorite parts about tracking little general aviation aircraft is just seeing um, how imperfect the flight paths are. It's just fun to look at. You know, this job is interesting that the whoever chose this cargo decided to get it by air because it seems like it would take around the same amount of time by car. I don't know. I don't know how the road structure is. But I don't know. It seems like it would probably take around the same amount of time. Oh, this vertical speed needs to behave. I still do enjoy the Cessna 150, which probably after the ETS2 polls, I will need to post one for Neofly, since we're earning a decent amount of money. I believe we're after this job we should be somewhere around $21,000 or Neofly coins or whatever they're called. So it'll be time to maybe take out a loan or sell the aircraft to be able to get something new. I've been looking at some decent options such as the Cessna 182 RG2 or possibly the NX Cub, which is cheaper but slower. We just got a lot of options. I'll probably just pick the airport that we land at before we do a poll. One with a good selection of smaller aircraft to rent. Or maybe just choose aircraft that we're able to fly that are single engine. Or maybe we could go to an airport that has a qualification. We just have a lot of choices or a lot of options, whichever way you want to put it. And we're banking right again. Once we get to Lynchburg, that is around the halfway mark. Actually, no. I believe it's a hospital, 94 VA. And since I have landed at this airport before, um, thankfully I know what to look for a little better since the last time that I went to land here, I had to kind of go around and just circle, or rather break off the approach, and then just loop around and come back. Since this airport is very easy to miss. One of the best tips that I could probably give someone who's looking for a smaller airport, um, maybe in the sim, to try and land at is to follow the highways. Um, because I've noticed that a lot of smaller airports, say the one that we're landing at, is right next to a highway, or it's pretty close to Lynchburg Regional Airport. Falwell Airport, W24, is right next to a highway. There's some mountains up there. I think, jeez. I think our airport is right over those large mountains back there, but Lynchburg is right beyond these smaller mountains before. Let me zoom in. Y'all might be able to see a little better. So here's the first set of mountains. I believe that's Lynchburg. And then after these mountains right here, Lexington is somewhere around there, I believe. So we're getting pretty close. Not gonna lie, I haven't even tried to use the nav in the actual aircraft. I probably should be using it, but I just haven't. No, well that's not good. Oh, there we go. All better. I don't know if I've ever gotten that before. You know, I have heard a lot of things about Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Um, okay. I thought we were successfully connected. It just went away. Anyways, hearing about Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 and that being cloud-based, or at least how they render things being cloud-based, is just very interesting to think about. And hopefully the game will still be in the tiers that it is now, and you don't have to pay for possibly certain areas of the game, like missions or quests. Maybe just still having to pay for, the marketplace items. I feel like that's fair since those are made by other people. I mean, some of them are made by Microsoft, but they're often in collaboration with other creators. But hopefully, it's gonna be a good sim. It's looking promising with the graphics, but I'm wondering how it's gonna hold up on older systems. Like my system isn't obviously my system isn't the newest. Like I don't have a 4090 or even a 2080 Ti, which I'm very grateful for the system that I have, and it runs games well. Like I'm able to record and game at the same time, which my older system was kind of starting to struggle at, especially as I was recording on an SSD instead of my NVMe that I'm using now. NVMe is just a lot faster than the SSD, and I can read, it has a faster read and write rate. Sorry if that got a little too involved. Um, but I'm just hoping that I'll be able to run Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 okay. Um, I mean, it is cloud-based, but there's still going to be some
Cessna Whiskey
physical
Tango Sierra,
processing there.
contact Roanoke, approach on 135.0. Good day.
135.0 Cessna Whiskey Tango Sierra. Goodbye. Roanoke approach Cessna November, Whiskey Tango Sierra 8,400 feet.
Jeez.
Cessna November Whiskey Tango Sierra Roanoke. Approach altimeter tree 0.0 tree radar contact. Continue.
8,000 feet. I did not realize that I was at that high of an altitude. I'm just starting to be able to see the destination on the map, so yes, we are about halfway there now. Since I can see the destination marker on the Sky4Sim map. I'll probably let you all see the outside view again once we get closer to the city of Lynchburg. Since, I mean, right now there's just farmland out here. But that'll be one of the cities that we'll be passing over, at least around the edge of it. You can kind of already see some of it there. I may not really though. Yeah, we're gonna be passing over more of the James in the actual city. I do need to kind of turn left though, because I'm kind of coming off the path here. Yeah, I probably will just give you all the exterior. I'm gonna go ahead and honestly leave this where it's at because we do need to lose some altitude. And I'm gonna go ahead and let this left bank do what it's doing. Maybe add into it a little bit. So yeah, right there. It's kind of hard to see, but here's Falwell right here. And then just over there is Lynchburg Regional. And then all throughout there is Liberty University, Lynchburg City, all that. And then, yep, here's the mountains. And then coming up there is going to be Lexington. And then there's just the James. Oh boy. I do, whenever I go to new places, I like to look up a whole lot about the area. go ahead and let y'all see the outside view now. Welcome back. Had to make that turn there just to kind of get back on the line. It is interesting to see the meanders of the river. Just wondering when those are going to turn into Oxbow Lakes. There is quite a bit of lag as we pass over the city. I'll have to do a night flight in the sim here soon and post it for y'all, since night flights are pretty fun. Oh, we are getting close. I am going to keep a little bit of this altitude on just until we pass over these mountains. Or I'll probably just send at a bit of a slower rate. believe that this airport's runway is around 2,000 feet long, as I said earlier, so pretty short. But we'll be able to make it pretty safely. Hopefully the landing will be relatively smooth. Yeah, we can afford to lose a bit of altitude here before we hit the mountains. We usually like to stay around 1,000 feet above them. There we go, finally losing some altitude steadily. See, that's mainly the input curve that's doing that jolt there. I still do like the steam gauges in the aircraft. I don't know. I still like the glass, but I don't know. The steam gauges just, they're classic. Just about onto the mountains now. ground speed is pretty close to our actual airspeed. Saying our ground speed is around 94 to 95 knots, and our airspeed is just around 90. It's looking like the section of mountains that we're coming over is a bit lower, so we'll just continue on losing some altitude. I don't think my plane is really a big fan of losing altitude. You have to keep pulling out throttle for it to nose down, and then I'll trim down, and then it just still wants to climb. It is just meant to be in the air. Look at that. I'm nose down and I was gaining altitude. That is insane. It's probably just the wing design that these things have compared to the body of the aircraft. It is kind of crazy to think about. Oh.
Contact Washington Center on 127.925.
Nope, we don't need to contact them. We need to contact our airport.
Going to 127.9er.
We'll check in and then
Whiskey Tango Sierra.
leave that frequency and
Washington Center,
contact our
Cessna
airport
November, Whiskey Tango
frequency.
Sierra,
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and dump
6,100
some
feet.
throttle and just.
Cessna November, Whiskey Tango Sierra,
Jeez.
Washington Center altimeter, 30.07 radar contact. Continue.
Alright, so there's 3, 1, 1, 2, 3. There we go. And then nose up because aircraft was nosing down a little bit too much. Alright, and we'll go ahead and swap to the airport freak. And we'll probably just be landing. Let's see, what's the wind? What's the wind? Alright, so we'll just land 3-3 because the wind is coming from 300.
Kilo Mike Echo Hotel traffic Cessna November, Whiskey Tango Sierra, 14 miles southeast, 5,600 feet inbound to land runway tree.
Tree. Alright, so we're back. Apparently OBS just stopped recording at the hour mark. I'm not sure why. I still have 115 gigs of space. But we're back, so what y'all might have missed, I think it left off is where I was saying I was landing runway 33. We're still landing that runway. We're just following the river up to the runway right now. I think the reason it just stopped recording is I guess it just couldn't handle recording past an hour, or maybe that's just an auto shut off thing. I'm not sure. Anyways, we're still getting pretty close. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say we might have to stop following the river, but that doesn't seem like the case since it continues going up there. But I think I might actually break off from the river. I'm not sure yet. I think, is there a road that goes with it? I don't know. I just remember it being kind of close to a road, and I think it's this highway up here. It's pretty close to that. So yeah, I'm just gonna follow the highway instead. So, bye-bye, river. I'll go ahead and make an announcement again.
Kilo Mike Echo Hotel traffic Cessna November, Whiskey Tango Sierra, 6 miles southeast, 4,300 feet inbound to land runway tree.
Alright, so I'll go ahead and put down flaps and put out landing lights, or put on landing lights, and then I'll just announce final when we're getting even closer. Alright, so I'm gonna go away menu. I hate that how that menu comes up whenever you tab out. Alright, so the runway should be somewhere in there. Last I remember, okay, I see the runway. It's right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop some more altitude and turn out this way. Oh boy. Pitch up plane. There we go. Still keeping an eye on the runway over there. And once we're all lined up, I'll go ahead and call final. Alright, I'll go ahead and call final.
Kilo Mike Echo Hotel traffic Cessna November, Whiskey Tango Sierra is on final runway tree to land.
Still just aiming for the beginning of the runway there. There's some power lines down there, but we'll be pretty clear of those by a few hundred feet. Real close. Still just dropping some extra altitude that we have on here. Bringing the throttle back a little bit since we're getting a little lower. We can go ahead and just slow the descent a little bit. Alright, bring it back down to idle. We still got some extra speed on us here, so just trying to bleed off some of that too. There we go, off comes the speed. And here we go. Oof. Ouch. Oh boy. Well, let's just say that we turned a little early for the taxi there. Yeah, let's just say that. Yeah, that was definitely my fault for coming in too fast. Well, we made it. At least we didn't have a passenger on board, so it was just us here, so we don't have to worry about a bad review or anything. Alright. Let's go ahead and put on the parking brake. And go ahead and cut that off. Sweet. Alright. I do just want to thank y'all for sticking with me through that crazy flight we had today. Yeah, that was pretty close. But we made it. Feel free to let me know what y'all thought in the comments, and maybe I should have named this one a close call and not episode 3. Do be thinking about what aircraft y'all would want to see for the series here. Maybe let me know in the comments. I will be posting that poll probably on Neofly number 5. But yeah, please do be safe, take care, and enjoy the rest of your day.